get to the root of the problem. The problem isn't your following isn't growing. It's that you're not even putting out your truth. We don't even know who you are.
Still into the social media influencer kind of transparency status, because we know Khaled became huge because of his authenticity and transparency. There was a really good interview with B. Simone and David Shands, shout out to David, about maybe what you're doing wrong and why you're not successful on social media and building your brand. So let's get into that.
Be yourself. The problem isn't, I'm not getting sales, nobody's looking at me. The problem is you're not original. The problem isn't, oh, nobody's on my page. The problem is you're not being yourself. You know, the problem isn't, man, nobody's buying my product, my followers aren't growing. The problem is consistency. The problem is discipline. The problem is self-control. Like, let's get to the root of the issue. You're not consistent. Let's get to the root of the issue. You're not even being yourself. You're so focused on this other entrepreneur, you're trying to do everything she's doing. Let's get to the root of the problem. The problem isn't your following isn't growing. It's that you're not even putting out your truth. We don't even know who you are.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness. Man, let me start this off, because there's this one part that first off, she said a lot, right? She just pretty much crapped on majority of people of why they're not growing at all, whether it's on a product and service standpoint, whether it's just from a following standpoint. She just pretty much said all the reasons. I will say the main reason for brand confusion and why people aren't growing, whether it's their following or, you know, their brand on social media, is because they don't know who they are. It causes brand confusion. If you don't know who you are, how are we supposed to know who you are? You know, you're doing several things and I don't know what that is. People don't know what that is. And then when she goes to the part of, I'm looking at this person and that person, and you're starting to copy what they're doing, and we definitely don't feel that you're authentic. But I actually want to put the comparison topic to a different thought, because I posted something on Nicky and Moose when this is being recorded. I posted it on December 18th, because it was early in the morning. You know what I mean? It was early. But it was of a rapper called Corday, who I think we covered a little bit here before. But I loved how he said, I don't really try to look at other people, because from a high standpoint, you could look at other people and you can be crushing it, and that can cause complacency. So now I'm not doing as much because I'm seeing what other people are doing, and I don't feel like I have to do as much. So there's two sides of comparison. There's, I'm looking at other people and I'm copying exactly what it is, and it's not taking me to the level that I need to be. Or I'm looking at other people, I'm past them, and now I'm actually coasting and will actually go more down in a downward spiral, because I'm letting my foot off the gas because I'm looking at other people. You know? So the comparison vibe really needs to stop, because either direction, it doesn't benefit you. Either direction. And we've covered it with the Virgil topic, where the whole perfection, and we end up researching a little bit too much, and we're looking all over the place, and now we're still ending up copying people.
Yeah.
So that's like already, and it's hard not to. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's hard when you're jumping on these platforms, when you're getting and creating, whether you're in the beginning stages, middle stages, or even a little bit advanced, you have to kind of keep a pulse on the industry, right? So it is hard not to look at other people, but at the same time, if you understand the two reasons of how they're both negative, it can kind of reduce it a bit. Now, I will say, I love the consistency part, because further in that interview, she was like, okay, you're posting, I don't know, once a month or once a week. I'm posting 4 times a day. Like, that's not, you think that's consistent? No, I'm trying to get you to know me every single day, every part of the day. You're going to need my brand every part of the day. Breakfast, I got you. Lunch, I got you. You want a snack? I got you. When you're on your phone, dinner or chilling out time, I'm going to be there too. You have to, just like how Khaled said in the last clip, you have to show up. And if it's good, people will come. But if you are showing up whenever you feel like showing up, you're not putting your brand as a priority. You're not putting your legacy as a priority either, because we kind of think of social media and we kind of think of content as something more of a task and more of just something we have to do, right? But we have to put a priority into it, because it's a bigger picture of, this is going to last for a month. This is going to last for a year. This is going to last for several years. I've stated this a few times. We're still using Eric Thomas content from 5 to 7 years ago. Right? It's lasting, and it will probably last longer than he lives. By you creating a consistent work of content, as I like to say, a body of work, you're not leaving doubt to your followers of who you are. You now create a digital legacy, and you're providing, whether it's motivation, dedication, or dedication, all in my hat. Okay. Motivation, education. Yo, random. I may be all over the place today. I apologize. Motivation, education, or entertainment. Your content may be providing that for years to come, which is adding value and which is going to create shareability to your brand. If you don't put anything out, then how are you expecting the people to know who you are? At all. At all.
Man, it's funny. I'm just sitting here and listening, and like, I'm reflecting on so much, right? On one level, the concept of what you shared about E and using content of his from 5 to 7 years ago. And I'm just like, think about that for a minute. The fact, yes, there's consistency. That's a key principle that's tied in there. But there's also a key ingredient, which is being true to self, or authenticity in a sense, because you're using content from years ago, but people can still see it and still say, oh, that's E. Like, he's not a different version of himself today that using anything from the past of his makes people say, nah, that's not who he is today.
Right.
So here's my takeaway. When you work on you grow, but people can't say you changed. You get what I'm saying? Like you grow, but you're still recognizable to people, meaning that your values, traits, characteristics, integrity are still in order. that people can be like, oh, I know who, I recognize Nicky. Yeah, I recognize Nicky from 10 years ago, because although she's grown, she's more intelligent, she is more creative, she has more relationships, she has more opportunities on every level. But people can't say you changed. So I find that so almost amazing in the sense that we've like added a new spin to that Jay-Z line where he's like, you know, people say, you changed, like I worked so hard to stay the same. But it's like, okay, well, what if you changed or you grew, but you're still recognizable to some extent? Sure, mentality might be different,
Right.
but I do think the consistency deeply ingrained in that is that concept. The other thing is my new line, and I'm reading this new book that's helping me really see it, is the first principle of achievement is discipline.
Break that down.
Yeah. It's like you can't achieve anything if you're not disciplined on a clear target. It becomes very difficult to achieve your goals or be looked at as someone who's accomplished and successful or respected as a great or a guru in your industry if you can't channel your energy and your discipline toward the target that you're trying to attack, finish, or complete. So many times we think that people are successful because of how much they've done, when in reality, people are successful because of how little they've done, but in one particular area. And little, I mean by little in terms of the number of things they've done. So it's like they've done so much in one area, they didn't do so many different things. So it's super important that going into the new year, one of the things that we work on is discipline. Because the cool thing about what this young lady just shared, she didn't say anything that was specific to social media. She said a lot of things, or a lot of almost principles and things related to our own personal development, like things that we can work on away from social media, offline, but they will greatly impact how we move and touch people online.
Yeah.
So I just think discipline is one of those things that we gotta make attractive again. You know, it's like that self-control, that discipline, that focus. That's something we got to make attractive again, because again, it's work that's done offline, but it greatly impacts what you do online.
There you go.